Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. You know, it's been almost a year since I became a new fan of My Little Pony. And as I said after blogging the 2017 theatrical movie, I promised myself that I would watch the TV show and collect the past 7 seasons on DVD. And after watching several episodes on DVD and online, I think My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is a really good show that both boys and girls can enjoy, no matter what age they are, and no matter what gender. But keep in mind, folks, that I am not a brony, because I think my title as Mustang Prince, a fan of all horses, seems a lot better. Also, can't believe it's been about 10 years since I received that title, courtesy of my friends and family at Musical Theater Village. Anyway, in my opinion, aside from the first 7 seasons, the new 8th season is really interesting, with Twilight and the gang hosting a friendship school in Ponyville, teaching ponies and other creatures like yaks, changelings, griffins, dragons, and hippogriffs about the different values of friendship, while still going on friendship missions around Equestria. Though, I kind of wish that one of the buffaloes from Appaloosa could attend Twilight School. And it's sad that Tempest and several of the other new characters haven't returned to the show. Maybe it's because their voice actors are pretty busy, or maybe they're just too expensive to bring back. Now, for today's blog, on the topic of school, about 5 years ago, way before Twilight became head mayor, before Flurry Heart was born, before Starlight Glimmer became Twilight's student, and not long after Twilight became an Alicorn princess, there was another pony that Twilight had to teach friendship to, and she lives in a world inhabited by creatures who don't exist in Equestria. Humans. Released on June 16th, 2013, the movie is My Little Pony Equestria Girls. Now let's get started. In this movie, Princess Twilight Sparkle pursues a thief who stole her crown and travels into an alternate world where she transforms into a human teenager. While learning how to behave as a human and trying to get her crown back, Twilight encounters human counterparts of her pony friends who help her survive her greatest challenge yet: high school. So, what are my thoughts on this movie? Well, I found this to be a pretty good movie, but let's move on to Mustang notes. The movie was written by Megan McCarthy and directed by Jason Thiessen. Plus, it was produced by DHX Media's 2D animation studio in Vancouver, Canada, for Hasbro Studios in the US. The movie premiered at the Los Angeles Film Festival on June 15, 2013, followed by a limited release in the US and Canada on June 16, 2013, with a home media release on August 6, 2013. It also commemorates the 30th anniversary of the launch of the original My Little Pony toy line. To maintain continuity, Hasbro used the same writing staff as Friendship is Magic, including the then current story editor Megan McCarthy, who considered the story to be an extension of their mythology. McCarthy stated that with the Equestria Girls setting, they might explore different aspects of relationships that in the pony world don't quite work the same as they do when you set it in a high school setting, thus making the work more appealing to older girls that are in the high school age or the junior high school age. Now let's talk about the animation. And, in my opinion, in the beginning of the movie, it starts off on the same level as the TV series, but things look pretty different once Twilight crosses into the human world through a crystal mirror, which is a portal that opens once every 30 moons. Also, in my eyes, the human versions of the ponies look pretty good, especially with their cutie marks appearing on their outfits. Though only the familiar ones, because several of the others, in my opinion, are designed kind of strange to me, especially since their skin color is varied, which sounds kind of similar to the Doug TV series. But hey, at least they're designed better than the Gruzenians. Also, in my opinion, Canterlot High looks pretty good in my opinion. Plus, it reminds me of my old high school, Equestria Girls High School to be exact. And why do I think that? Well, it's because Canterlot High's mascot is the Wonder Colts, which is in the same category as the Mustang. I'm sure some of you out there have been to schools where a horse was a mascot. However, unlike Equestria Hills and most other high schools out there, according to Fluttershy, every student at Canterlot High sticks with their own group. You know, groups like athletes, fashionistas, dramas, eco kids, techies, and rockers. You know, now that I think about it, that sounds kind of familiar, but it's not as offensive as this trashy movie. Also, remember what I said about the human versions of the ponies earlier? Well, aside from how they're designed and animated, I think it's nice to see some familiar faces from the TV series, even if they don't do too much in this movie. For example, the students who attend Canterlot High are Big Mac, Derpy, Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon, Photo Finish, DJ Poem 3, Trixie Lulamoon, even the Cutie Mark Crusaders, Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo. There's also Miss Cheerilee, who works as a Canterlot High School teacher and librarian, Granny Smith, who works as a lunch lady, and of course, Mr. and Mrs. Cake, who run a human version of Sugar Cube Corner. Also, I think it's pretty interesting for Twilight to experience this world, due to the fact that humans don't exist in Equestria. Even though, I don't know if many people these days remember that a long time ago, during the 80s, back during Generation 1, there was a time when humans did exist in My Little Pony. For example, there were 3 children, Megan, Molly, and Danny, who would help the ponies in several of their episodes. As for the story, well, I feel that it's been done before, many times. I mean, think about it. Not only does it feel like your everyday high school movie, but there are some elements that feel like they came from L. Frank Baum's The Wizard of Oz, Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, and of course, Disney's Enchanted. Plus, some parts of the movie make me think back to a few episodes from the first 3 seasons. But still, the movie feels very magical and epic. However, there's one thing that kept me wondering to myself ever since I first watched this movie last year. Where the hay was Shining Armor while Twilight was on her quest? And why wasn't he there to see Twilight when she and her friends got to the Crystal Empire? I mean, I think the reason why he and Flurry Heart were not shown in the 2017 movie is because some pony had to look after the Crystal Empire, while his wife, Cadence, and several of the other ponies were attending Twilight's Friendship Festival. But what could be the reason why Shining Armor was absent in this movie? Was he too busy training new guards? I guess we'll never know. But anyway, some of my favorite parts of this movie are when Twilight and Spike look through a yearbook and see a photograph of human versions of her PFFs. Pony Friends Forever. Makes me glad that I keep yearbooks from my high school age on my shelf behind me. And I like the final climax where Twilight and the gang pony up with magical ears, wings, and tails in order to defeat Sunset Shimmer. Now that, in my opinion, is true Mustang power. Now let's move on to the music and songs. In total, there are 6 songs, well, technically 7, featured in this movie, and most of them feel like modern pop/girl group style that fit into the high school/urban setting. Let's begin with the first song, the Friendship is Magic remix, which plays during the opening credits. In my opinion, this is a catchy version of the TV show's theme song, and I really love the animation featured throughout this sequence. Next is This Strange World, sung by Twilight Sparkle, while she goes through the halls of Canterlot High and wonders what this strange new world is. To me, this song is, well, okay. Though nothing too special, but I do like the instrumentals playing, and I can easily identify and sympathize with Twilight's curiosity throughout the song. Next we come to my favorite song in the movie, the Equestria Girls Cafeteria song, sung by the main 6 and the Canterlot High students. In this song, Twilight and her new friends sing this in order to create unity between the students and boost Twilight's popularity so that she can recover her magic crown. What I love about this song is the choreography and the lyrics. Plus, I think the mascot horse ears and tails look cute on Twilight and the girls. Though, I wonder how they'd look on me. Also, in my opinion, this song feels pretty reminiscent to Ren McCormick's song, I Can't Stand Still, from the Footloose musical. The next song is Time to Come Together, sung while the newly united human main 6 clean and redecorate the school auditorium for the fall formal dance. Later on, the entire school gathers together to help them. To me, this is a pretty good song too, and I really love the teamwork. Also, there are parts that are pretty memorable, like Rarity's germophobia, and Pinkie Pie using her hair to clean the floor. Next is This Is Our Big Night, sung while the main 6 get dressed for the fall formal party. And in my opinion, this song makes me think of the season 1 finale, The Best Night Ever. Plus, this is my second favorite song in the movie, and I really love the main 6's fall formal outfits. To me, they look pretty similar to the outfits they wore to the Grand Galloping Gala. What's more, this song gets a reprise after Sunset Shimmer gets defeated and Twilight officially gets her crown back. My favorite part of the song is when we see Scootaloo ride on a flying rainbow dash, and when Twilight dances on her hands and legs, which feels kind of like that dance that she did during her birthday in the episode Sweet and Elite. And yet, years afterwards, she did the same dance during the end credits of the 2017 movie. The last song in the movie is A Friend for Life, sung by Jerica Santos during the end credits. And in my eyes, this is a very inspirational song to listen to. Another song to mention is the Cutie Mark Crusaders song, which is heard while the CMC are watching their music video on YouTube, only to be silenced by Miss Cheerilee and encounter some really awful comments, which is a real shame because I don't think this song is a failure or the funniest thing I've ever seen. I mean, yes, Scootaloo's voice was bad back then, but the instrumentals are really amazing and the lyrics are cleverly written. And now, let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Our main heroine, Princess Twilight Sparkle, is voiced by my all-time favorite voice actress, Tara Strong. Best known as Princess Melody from The Little Mermaid 2, Raven from Teen Titans, Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, Timmy Turner from The Fairly OddParents, Riku from Final Fantasy X and X-2, and just recently, Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, in Lauren Faust's new series, DC Superhero Girls. In this movie, Twilight is an alicorn who struggles with her new wings and forthcoming responsibilities. Her transformation and coronation as princess was depicted in the Season 3 finale, Magical Mystery Cure. Twilight assumes human form in the alternate world of Canterlot High School. In my opinion, Twilight's human form looks very beautiful, and her experience as a human did start off pretty difficult, but it was pretty similar to Ariel's when she was struggling while trying to walk on two legs. Plus, there are times when Twilight does a few things that only the pony Twilight would do in Equestria, like eat without her hands, put a pen in her mouth, type on the computer with her fists, even walk on fours. Man, next thing you know, years later, Twilight student Starlight would behave almost the exact same way. Also, as a human, Twilight has terrible handwriting. But even though Twilight cannot use her magic without her horn throughout this movie, Twilight still has the determination, charm, and intelligence in order to succeed on her quest to get her crown back. Also, just so all you know, Twilight's crown isn't any ordinary crown. It's a symbol that represents Twilight's element of magic, one of the elements of harmony, and without it, the other elements of harmony that her friends possess will be useless. Next we have Applejack and Rainbow Dash, both voiced by Ashley Ball, who got to be in several Barbie and Bratz films. Applejack is an apple cider seller and a farm girl, and Rainbow Dash is an athletic student who plays school sports such as soccer. What I like about Applejack, other than her Reba McEntire accent, is her honesty. As for Rainbow Dash, I really love her tomboyish personality and her loyalty. Plus, I think it's pretty crazy that she's captain of all the school sports teams. One of my favorite scenes is when Rainbow Dash challenges Twilight to a soccer match, only to test Twilight's determination. Next are Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy, both voiced by Andrea Libman, whom I remember from the Madeline TV series. Pinkie serves as head of the school formal planning committee, and Fluttershy is a timid and kind-hearted student who is an animal shelter volunteer. To me, Pinkie is similar, but 5% different compared to her pony counterpart. For example, her hair is puffier and frizzier, and she keeps a pen and clipboard in said hair. But she's still the same adorable Pinkie Pie who always brings a smile and a laugh to every My Little Pony fan. I like the part where she assumes that Princess Twilight has a twin sister in the city with a dog, which nowadays might foreshadow Sci-Twi from Friendship Games onwards. And in my opinion, the part where Pinkie accurately guesses that Twilight is a pony princess from an alternate world on a mission to retrieve her magical element really made my jaw drop, just like Twilight and Spike did. As for Fluttershy, well, even as a human, I still think that Fluttershy has a Snow White personality, and I like that she keeps several animals, including her pet bunny, Angel, in her backpack. Plus, the scene where Twilight first meets human Fluttershy is pretty similar to when she met Pony Fluttershy in the first episode. In the movie, Fluttershy was the one who found Twilight's crown outside Canterlot High School and took it to Principal Celestia. Later in the movie, Fluttershy explains to Twilight how things work at the school, mentioning all the different social cliques and that Sunset Shimmer rules all of them. Next is the lovely Rarity, voiced by Tabitha St. Germain, who got to voice as Scary Godmother in the 2 Scary Godmother specials. Like her pony counterpart, Rarity is a fashion designer. What I like about Rarity is her generosity and her British accent. Plus, I like the parts where Rarity gives Twilight a new outfit so she wouldn't be recognized, and when she provides pony-eared headbands and tie-on ponytails for her and her friends to wear while supporting Twilight. Next we have Twilight's dragon assistant, Spike, voiced by Kathy Weselek, who voiced as one of the sprites in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer the movie. In this film, Spike becomes a talking puppy, and in my opinion, I think Spike looks very adorable. And I really like how he supports Twilight on her mission, even though there are times when he has to ride in Twilight's backpack and keep his talking to a minimum. Plus, just like with Pony Rarity, Spike is deeply smitten with human Rarity. Next we come to the main villain, Sunset Shimmer, voiced by Rebecca Soichette, whom not only is the singing voice for Twilight, but she also voices Kagome's little brother Sota from Inuyasha, and on Friendship is Magic, she voices Big Mac's sweetheart, Sugar Belle. Sunset is a former unicorn and a former student of Princess Celestia, who began her studies not long before Twilight did. However, when she didn't get what she desired as quickly as she wanted, she turned cruel and dishonest, eventually abandoning her studies to pursue her own path. And now, Sunset lives as a resident bully at Canterlot High School. Throughout this movie, Sunset has been doing all sorts of nasty things. Not only did she steal Twilight's crown, but she split up the main 5 by hacking into their text messages and emails, and tried to humiliate Twilight and frame her for ruining Pinkie Pie's decorations. Gee, what a bitch she was! Also, nearing the end of the movie, when Sunset put on Twilight's crown, she transforms into a demonic winged monster. She reveals that her evil plan was to use Twilight's crown to turn all the students into her own personal zombie army in order to conquer Equestria. After Twilight and the girls defeat Sunset, she is sentenced to repair all the damages as punishment for her actions. These are Snips and Snails, voiced by Lee Tucker and Richard Ian Cox. Normally in the TV series, they are two unintelligent, troublemaking unicorn colts. However, in this movie, these two are Sunset Shimmer's two cohorts. I'd like to consider these two as dumbass idiots, and I don't like what they do throughout this movie, like using their iPhones to record Twilight's clumsy attempts at getting accustomed to the human world, and they upload their video to YouTube, turning her into a laughingstock. Later on, they help Sunset ruin the fall formal decorations and frame Twilight using Photoshop. And during the fall formal, they kidnap Spike. Next we have Principal Celestia, the head of Canterlot High School, voiced by Nicole Oliver, whom last year was in Wonder. Now, I know I didn't talk about her last year when I blogged the 2017 My Little Pony movie, but anyway, in the series, Princess Celestia is the ruler of Equestria, and she was Twilight's teacher before she moved to Ponyville. In my opinion, Celestia is beautiful and wise. Plus, her voice is very motherly, and she makes me think of one of my childhood teachers. In this movie, however, after Fluttershy turns Twilight's crown over to Principal Celestia, she had her sister, Vice Principal Luna, also voiced by Tabitha St. Germain, put said crown away for safekeeping. When Twilight goes to meet with Celestia in her office, she explains that the only way for Twilight to get her crown back is if she's voted as Princess of the Fall Formal. Another character to talk about is Flash Sentry, voiced by Vincent Tong, whom 2 years ago voiced in Ratchet and Clank and Sausage Party. Flash is a young guitar player who takes a mutual romantic interest in Twilight. Flash is also Sunset Shimmer's ex-boyfriend. They broke up 6 weeks prior. In my opinion, Flash seems pretty sharp and seems like a nice guy by all accounts. What I like about Flash is his guitar playing skills, and I like the scenes where he proves Twilight's innocence and when he dances with Twilight at the fall formal. Also, I found it funny when Flash and Twilight keep bumping into each other, and I smile in support every time Twilight blushes at him. However, in Equestria, Flash is a Pegasus pony who serves as one of Princess Cadance and Shining Armor's royal guards. And now, let's move on to my final words. Overall, My Little Pony Equestria Girls is a pretty good movie in my opinion. The animation is magical, Canterlot High is very nostalgic, the characters like the Human Main Six are amazing as always, Spike is adorable as a puppy, Sunset Shimmer may have been a threatening teen villain, but I'm glad that she becomes a better person in the following movies and in the digital series. And then there's Snips and Snails. As idiotic as they can be, the less said about them, the better. Plus, the songs are all wonderful, And while the story may be a tad reminiscent to other high school movies I've seen, this movie is still very magical and epic. And it does help build Twilight's confidence for her new princess role. I give this movie a full 100%. Well, that's it for today, everypony. Be sure to join me for my next blog. Mustang Power!